Hi, I'm Gareth Byrne. I'm going to be talking to you about coordinating morning meetings on stage 5. So we'll get started. I think morning meetings are vitally important, and for me anyway, like any good book or any good story, any good movie. For me personally, I like a start, a middle, and an end. I want a kind of complete story. So I think your morning meetings have to be, very similar in terms of that too. So typically when I start a morning meeting, I think planning and preparation, again, not to sound like a broken record, but it's so important. So I would typically start my morning meetings in a very similar. I usually follow a structure. I will break that structure to keep it fresh and mix it up for myself and the guys, but typically I'll go through the format that I use. I would always start with a customer service. So I'm going to bring up issues from the day before in terms of paperwork. There may be some client information, there may be a product change, there may be a change to whatever the case may be. I want to address that with the guys. I want to explain to guys how to condition territory. I want to educate guys on protecting our business for the long term by having great customer service, why that's so important. I also want to educate guys on how to increase their earnings through getting better bond returns and having quality and customer service payments. And for me, it sets the tone really. I build customer service into the morning meeting, and I guess then the morning meeting proper I would start then after that. So I have a little bit of a break from that, and make sure that message is sunk in for the guys, and then I'll get started. So typically, I'll move on from the customer service stuff and move on to some recognition. So of course we're reading out our high rollers and our bell ringers and the guys that have earned great money in the field the day before. I think what's often missed is the story of the success. So when we're giving recognition to people, I want to read out financial amount that they've made to say well done, and to give an example for the other guys to go and copy. But I think the story behind that success. So particularly if guys have had to overcome a challenge in order to get the result. If they were dealing with certain negatives to get that result, or they were following a process, or perhaps we've had conversations about improving, they've applied that information and got a better result. Again, it's a great message to give your guys, and I think that's often missed is going through explaining the process rather than just reading out a list of people. I almost want to read out a list of what they did to get the result, as opposed to just a list of the people who've actually succeeded. So that's really important for me. Moving on from the recognition section of the morning meeting, I guess for me, I would traditionally go through some news of upcoming events, whether that's conventions, whether that's coaching meetings, training meetings, office nights out, whatever the case may be. You'll have your own specific ones that you're doing for your organization and for your office. But again, I don't want to just read out the list and rattle off the list, which is, I'm sure I've made that mistake many times in the past. But what I try and do now is really, I don't go through, if there's 10 things coming up in the next 2 months, I might not necessarily go through every single thing on the list. I may spread it out over the course of the week, or I might pick 1 or 2 things that are coming up that I think are going to motivate or inspire the guys, or maybe are going to have an impact on the guys. And I really sell what's coming up, and really paint the picture of the meeting that we're going to. If it's at a nice hotel, great. If there's an international trip coming up, I'm going to really sell the guys on the fact that we're going to be flying. This is where we're going to be going. This is who we're going to meet, and I really sell the guys on that stuff. And even if somebody is in the room who probably thinks, well, you know what, I'm maybe not performing well enough to be selected, the fact that there's travel opportunities, the fact that there's different stuff going on, may retain that person and get that person excited. Go, maybe I'm not ready for this trip, but on the next one, I might be ready. It's a great retention tool, and also you can get a lot of productivity because guys are up in their game to get involved in stuff, or people will stick around for longer because they want to be at that event because you painted a great picture. So I think that's really important with the news, rather than just, again, much like the recognition, rattling through a list of what to do. I think it's important that you paint that picture for people. And then after that, after I've done the recognition, the news, customer service, I'll typically go into a topic. And I think the topic is probably a question I get asked most by people who are maybe new to running offices or coming through that program is, what do I run? What topic do I run? What do I teach the guys? And for me, again, much like if I'm honest with you, I kind of have a similar process when I'm deciding what to talk about. I look at stats, I look at what's actually happening in my business on a day-to-day and weekly basis, and then I'll also I'll also speak to the guys and get a feeling, and I'll use my own gut feeling and my own instincts, and I kind of marry those two together, and that's where I kind of come up with that's the process I use to come up with the topic. So a couple of things to talk about is where's your office at? If I've recruited a lot of new people, my topics on my morning meetings are typically maybe not going to motivate the experienced guys who've heard me talking about it many times before, but I run my topic of my morning meeting specifically with the new people in mind. And in fact, I might even really tune into a couple of great new people I've started, use their name, get them interacting with me, and ask them a few questions, and again make it interactive. But I'll talk about if there's new people in the room, I want to help them understand direct sales the same way I do. When I first met this industry, why I stuck around was that I had my questions answered in a lot of morning meetings, and the topics made logical sense to me, made business sense. I understood the why we were doing certain things, and so I guess the value for the client is that we are a massively underused tool. We are so effective for our clients. Again, if I've got some great new people there, I want them to understand that, so I might run through the value to the client. That's why our clients want us to grow. That's why customer service is so important. That's why they pay us the money they do. That's why if you can get great at representing this client, you can make great money from field earnings. You can also progress through our program. So I guess I could almost tie in and rehash the other messages, my customer service message, my recognition message, and I can also tie in some of my new stuff too, to that, the value to the client as well, and really educate guys, why we work different hours, why we work on performance, our business versus, again, I guess, an entrepreneurial type business that we do, and an independent model that we have, as opposed to being employed or being an employee and working in a kind of I guess what you call a traditional business, as opposed to wanting to build your own. Why be an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur success stories, different stuff like that. So guys have got to really understanding why we have certain cultures in our office, explaining that stuff. Great morning meetings to run, and that really educates your new people, and also refreshes some of your older guys and the guys that have been around a little bit longer. If they had to hear it 4 or 5 times, well, they might take 4, 5, 6 times for someone to get it. So don't be afraid to cover stuff that you've covered before if it's good. It doesn't have to be brand new every single day. If it's a good message and it's a positive message, there's no issues in repeating it. Next thing I put down there was, what I learned very early on in the business, with morning meetings and with your daily sessions with your guys, is to teach the present, so they've got the tools to deal with the day-to-day issues they're coming up with, but promote the future and talk about the future and really paint pictures and really build where the business is going. And there's many morning meetings you can use to do that. So I will, I'll often go through capacity meetings. They're great morning meetings to run. So we'll explain how many offices we can have, how many guys we can have in the field, how many clients. Meetings to talk about what products are coming up in the pipeline and what we can do in the future. Mentality, stuff is really important. So, and this is where you can use all the social media and the technology that's available now. Years ago, we didn't have access to so much information, so you can go onto LinkedIn, Inc., you can go onto the COD website, and you can get great clips, etc. That can be your morning meeting, and using other people's success from sport, from business, people who've got stories of adversity. Again, anything that's going to give your guys confidence and again, it's so important for me that there's a real message and a theme. And if you come up with a theme off the top of your head, it may work for you for a day, it may work for a week, but eventually you're going to find that I think the results won't come from that. And also, if you want to replace yourself and you want to coach other people, they can't copy that system. So I think what I haven't got in mind is when I am running meetings and when I'm running my morning meetings, that I've also, as well as giving a message to the guys, I've got to make this copyable so my senior people can copy too. So that for me is really important. I think your morning meeting is the last thing the guys hear before they go to the field. So I want to be able to, fill the guys up with confidence, fill them with energy. So when they actually get to the field, almost the cup is full, if that makes sense to you, and they can really go out and have a great day from the message, and inspire them to look at themselves not as just salespeople, look at themselves as people running independent businesses, and be really proud about what they're doing, and be proud about the client they represent, and be proud, that they're whether they're going door to door, business to business, or event marketing, be proud that when customers say no, that's fine, that's normal, and as long as we lead everyone to positive, we can go back to those customers, they can be future customers, and really give the guys confidence. And it sounds a little bit cheesy, but give the guys a warm, fuzzy feeling when they're leaving the office, and that'll really, you'll get a lot of longevity, and that will help not only development but also sales. And I could talk about more meetings forever, but hopefully that's some guidance. And then that's a structure I would typically follow. Then there's other times when I go with my gut feeling, or I look at the stats or whatever, and I go, maybe we're not going to have such a traditional structured morning meeting today. Maybe we can take the guys outside the office if it's a sunny day and have a chat with the guys about different stuff. You can, maybe get guys to sit down and off and do a sit-down meeting with the guys, and go through maybe, a bit of a mini business development meeting. If I'm talking about opportunity, maybe traditionally we would talk about, promotional structure, etc. in a morning meeting. Well, maybe get the guys to sit down and plan out your time, cut your leaders meeting out. And we don't do a leaders meeting, but do a longer morning meeting, do a sit down session, get some drinks and some croissants or whatever in for the guys in the morning, and have a bit of a, what I call a story time with Gareth, sort of an idea. So don't be afraid to freshen up, mix it up, do different stuff, use video clips, use social media, use all the tools available to you to educate your people. And I'll leave you with this point: your morning meetings is your route to market every day to really develop your business. And the better educated your people are, I believe that education comes from your morning meetings, more than any other part of the day or your weekly activity. And that education process, you can educate your guys with the right mental approach to what they're doing, and educate them better. I think you can have if your people are very well educated, and your leaders are well educated, and the guys in your office are well educated, your business is going to grow, and you're going to have a big business. And that's the real key to more meetings. So plan them, prepare them, be passionate, have energy when you do them, and you'll get great results from them. Thanks for listening. Cheers.